But if you close your eyes.
Hello and welcome to Mr. Stroud's Psychology and Sociology Surgery. Today it's going to be a Sociology one for the GCSE, so Year 9 up to all the way up to Year 11. Okay. In this one we're going to look at some keywords that you might have missed, okay, because they weren't explicitly taught to you. So we're going to look through those keywords, give you some definitions, etc. Okay. In the descriptions below there are links to the Unit 1 and Unit 2 glossary. Okay, they're all the keywords that could come up in the exam. But first, let's do Psychology Fact of the Week. Laughing lowers levels of stress hormones and strengthens the immune system.
Crocs in the heels. Creels.
Laughing does do a lot of good things for you. Laugh as much as you can. Adults only laugh between 15 to 100 times a day, so don't become an adult.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping.
Okay, let's get going, shall we? Okay, so number 5 is consensus versus conflict approaches. Now, if you hear that, what that means is there are two different types of approaches in sociology. Okay, they link to the perspectives. You've got the conflict approach, and the conflict approach is essentially saying that society is there to push down the lower man and keep the top rich. So the rich stay rich, the poor stay poor. Okay, so this conflict approach links to two perspectives. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to guess what the two perspectives are. Okay, so if you guessed correctly, you should have said Marxism and feminism, because they believe that there are problems in society where the big dogs want to push down the little dogs and keep that inequality. Okay, now the consensus is the opposite of that. They say that everything in society has a purpose. Everything that happens in society, everyone who's in charge in society, everything you do in society has a purpose. Now, I'm sure you can guess that the two left are the functionalists and the new right. Okay, so they believe that most of the things that happen in society is there for a reason. Okay, we also have social processes versus social structures. You might hear the difference, okay? Now, social processes are essentially how we interact, okay? How our social relationships happen. So the relationship between a politician and a working class man will be very different from, say, a working class man and a lower class man. The interactions and the processes, the relationships that we create. On the other side, you've got social structures, and they are essentially how society is made up. Okay, so the structure, the hierarchy, we're talking about social class, we're talking about gender, ethnicity, life chances. Okay, so structures in society that create society as a whole. Think of it just as functionalists would say, as parts of the body. Okay, the brain is the most important bit, and it goes down, and every part is a little bit less important, but maybe more important in the general sense of the word. At number 3 comes meritocracy. Now, we have talked about it in class, specifically when we talk about sort of functionalists' ideas. Now, meritocracy essentially means that people are given jobs and roles based on the skills that they have. Okay, so if you've gone through university to become a doctor, you'll become a doctor because you have the skills needed to become a doctor. So they say that everyone in society should have a job that represents what skills they have. Now, obviously, Marxists would say, well, that doesn't really happen because you'll be lower class, you can never get to the doctor stage. Okay. Functionalists would say, though, that everybody has the chance to get there if they wanted to. Social mobility. Okay, the next one's about research methods, and the word is triangulation. Now, triangulation is quite simple when you think about what it would mean. Think about the shape of it. So I'm going to give you 10 seconds to sort of guess what you think triangulation means, specifically to do with research methods. Go. Okay, so if you guessed right, you should have said that triangulation is using more than one research method in your investigation. So, for example, you could do triangulation by doing an observation of a group of people, maybe interview that group of people, maybe get official statistics and secondary sources of those people, and you put it all together like a triangle, boom, 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 all together to make the one study. What was that with my hands? What was that about? And in at number one, we have patriarchy. Now, I know a lot of you will know what patriarchy is, but it's one of those key terms that sometimes we forget, or sometimes we forget to put in our question. So patriarchy is the idea that society is run predominantly by men. Okay, now you can use patriarchy in questions about family and domestic division of labour. You can also talk about it in something like power or social inequality when you're talking about, say, the glass ceiling. Okay, essentially, like I said, patriarchy is one of those keywords that can be used in almost every question about gender and inequality. So you can put it in your 12-mark questions, you can put it in your 5-mark questions, you can even put it in your 4-mark questions, because there has been a few questions that have just been, what is patriarchy? Okay, so you need to know these key terms. Like I said before, if you go down to the comment box, not the comment box, the other box, you know what I'm talking about, there are links to the full list of key terms from the website. Okay, I would advise very strongly for you to read them, look for any problems, e.g. ones you don't know, and search them, because you don't want to be in that position where you're in the exam and a question comes up with a key term that you don't know. Okay, so get looking.
But if you close your eyes.
Okay, competition this week, very, very simple. I'd like you to design an image that represents sociology. So anything you want, anything that you want to design that represents what sociology is all about. Okay, it could be a world, it could be people holding hands, it could be different genders, different ethnicities all together, up to you. Now remember, it's the half term, so you've got a week to do this. So the first person to give it to me on the day, oh, my dinner's ready. The first person to get it on the day will obviously get a prize. Okay, actually no, we're going to do it differently. Give me some pictures, put them all in, and then I'll decide the best one. So it's not first come, first serve now, it's a competition.
But if you close your eyes.
Dun 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 dun. Alright, I have one last treat for you. As if my video wasn't treat enough, you always want to hear about my band and what I do, so I'm going to put a little snippet in. Enjoy.
Oh, baby, it's flashing a new color. Here comes my baby, she's flashing a new coat too. Well, she's on the phone, she's not going to pay for me. I said a lip, a blouse, blind. Don't care if I die. Don't care if I die. Don't ever leave me, don't you say goodbye. Here you go, here you go. go crossing on a hollow stone. I got so many women, I don't know which way.